February 1959. Deep within the freezing Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union, 9 experienced hikers set up camp for the night. They were young, intelligent, skilled survivors, people who knew how to handle brutal weather. But before sunrise, something made them abandon everything. Their tent was later discovered ripped open from the inside. Footprints showed the group fled into the snow wearing almost nothing. Some had no shoes. Some had no jackets. Temperatures that night dropped below minus 30 degrees Celsius. Search teams expected to find signs of an avalanche or maybe animal attacks. Instead, they discovered something far stranger. Bodies scattered across the wilderness, strange injuries, missing explanations, and a mystery that still survives more than 60 years later. Tonight, we're diving deep into the terrifying story of the Dyatlov Pass incident, a case so strange that even today, nobody can fully explain what happened on that mountain. The story begins in January 1959. A group of university students and experienced hikers prepared for a difficult expedition across the northern Ural Mountains. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, calm, intelligent, and highly respected. The group consisted of 8 men and 2 women. Most were in their early 20s. They weren't thrill seekers chasing internet fame. This was decades before social media. These hikers simply loved adventure. In the Soviet Union, completing dangerous expeditions was considered a major achievement. The route they selected was categorized as Grade 3, the highest difficulty level at the time. Temperatures would become deadly, snowstorms were common, and the terrain was unforgiving. Still, the group felt confident. They trained for this. They understood the risks. Before leaving, the hikers took photographs together, smiling, laughing, writing jokes in their journals, looking completely normal. Nothing about those final images hinted at the nightmare ahead. But during the journey, one member named Yuri Yudin became sick. He suffered from severe pain and weakness. Eventually, he made the difficult decision to turn back. At the time, he probably felt disappointed. But years later, people would realize that decision saved his life. Yuri Yudin became the only member of the expedition to return alive. When the hikers failed to return on schedule, concerns slowly began growing. At first, families believed delays were normal. Harsh weather could easily slow expeditions. But eventually, rescue teams were organized. Volunteers, students, soldiers, experienced search crews. Days later, they finally located the abandoned tent. Everything about the scene felt wrong. Shoes remained inside. Supplies remained untouched. Food was still present. It looked as though the hikers had suddenly escaped in panic. Searchers followed the footprints toward the forest. There, beneath a cedar tree, they discovered the first 2 bodies. The men were barefoot and lightly dressed. Nearby remains suggested they attempted to build a fire. Broken tree branches above them hinted they may have climbed upward, trying to see the campsite. Further searches revealed more bodies scattered between the forest and the tent. It looked as if some members tried returning to camp, but the freezing cold overwhelmed them. Months later, after snow melted deeper into spring, the remaining bodies were finally discovered in a ravine. And this is where the mystery became even darker. Several victims showed severe internal injuries. Investigators compared the force to a car crash. Yet strangely, there were very few external wounds. No clear signs of a violent struggle. No evidence of another group attacking them. This only deepened the mystery. Soviet investigators eventually closed the case with a vague explanation. They claimed the hikers died because of